Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video and our first, or I guess you could say second episode of the Build Talk series. Now, if you don't know what this series is, well, basically I give about anywhere from a 5 to 10 minute spiel about anything that goes on with building or the building community. Last time I talked about realism and scaling. Today we'll be going over a quite different topic, but if you haven't checked out my channel update video, then you might want to check that out. But without further ado, let's begin. Now, today I will be going over a question that is asked very frequently, not just on my channel, and I don't get many comments, but this is always asked on my channel almost after every single video that I make on a build. But it is always asked on my PMC and sometimes even my Twitter, and it is something that is a very common sense question, but it could also be a very misunderstood question, and not a lot of people may understand why. But the question is, why builders such as I do not give out build downloads to certain builds and certain projects and certain maps. And that's what we'll be talking about in this video today. Now, if you ever asked this question yourself whenever you see a cool build, or you've ever asked that question, or even if you haven't, this is a pretty good video to just go over, just reasons and, a little more clarification. But I cannot speak for everybody, so I'm just going to go over the reasons why I myself do not give out the download to various builds. Now, it may not be a big deal, but, since it's such a frequently asked question, there must be some sort of misconception. So I will give you guys a few reasons why I do not myself give out any sort of build download. Now, first and biggest reason out of like maybe 3 reasons, it's not really a lot. I don't want to make this an elaborative video, but biggest reason of all why I do not give out my map is because of plagiarism and stealing. Now, if you don't know, every single build has some sort of value and worth, and that includes, monetary value actually, because any sort of desirable build on Minecraft, whether it is an organic or terrain or even structures, what I do, it all has value. And people are willing to use any sort of build they get their hands on, and they could do a lot of things to it that could cause and make impacts on me as a builder. These impacts, they all kind of go back to, what the purpose of the build is and what the intentions of the build that I make. Nobody's going to take some sort of like very simple, basic, is intended to be basic tutorial build for my channel. Nobody's going to take that and turn it into something. Same thing with houses too. You could use houses because I have a lot of houses on my channel. You could use them, but they don't have as much use as something such as Evergreen, a full-on map that I made. People could actually take that and they could, number one, either resell it, and I do not make any profit, even though I never even had the intention of selling the map. Or number two, they could actually, take credit for the map. Now I'm just gonna go over that real simple. Taking credit from the map, people actually do that. They take credit for builds that they never built. And the thing about that is they're always going to get caught in the act. People are kind of dumb, and, they do that. I did that when I was, like, 11, but, like, number one, I never got caught, so, that's pretty funny. But, like, yeah, you're eventually going to get caught if you're, like, a pretty bad builder and you take credit for something that I built, then you're going to get caught in the act eventually. So I'm just going to make that clear. But, yeah, people will want to steal the build for certain reasons. Also, people also might want to use it for their own, purposes on their server. Now, I said before, I am okay with people using maps that I've built for their server or builds that I have built for their server. But, when it comes to them not giving credit, that's when it turns into something like plagiarism and stealing. Now, moving on to reason number 2. Now, I went over this for like 1 second earlier, but this is actually the sentimental value of the build. Now, if it's not about stealing and if it's not about plagiarism, it's about how much I love the build. And, that kind of goes back to builds such as Evergreen. These are large builds that I spent a lot of time on, and I feel like it just doesn't do the build justice. And I feel like a lot of other builders would agree with me on this one because, there are a lot of other build teams and builders that have spent months, if not like years, on certain builds, and just for some kid to come up and ask them for a build and be like, yeah, can I have your build? It just seems like ridiculous, no matter what intention they have with that build. But that's that. Builds. I'm an example right here is actually Evergreen. I spent 6 months on that, and it took a long time. and there's no way I'd give that out to just anybody unless it be for, like I said before, cinematic or animatic purposes. But other than that, that build resides on, Shakescape. Maybe I'd get it out one day just to show you guys, but yeah, it's on a whitelisted server, safe. Build almost got deleted. Don't want anything going on with that build anymore. But just stay tuned. It might be on display for MC BuildCon in June. Not sure. I sent it to them. That's the only time that I would actually send out a build, like I said, for self-promotion purposes. But yeah, check it out on MC BuildCon when it comes on around soon. Might be there. But moving on to the last reason why I would not give out a build. Now moving back on track to reason number 3. This reason is probably the least biggest out of all of them, but it is something on a more personal level. It doesn't have to be agreeable amongst other builders, but it is a reason that I would probably give of why I would not give out any sort of download. Now, just to make it clear, if you don't see a download anywhere, including the description, then it probably isn't intended to be distributed. And that goes back to this reason, and that is basically the worth of the build and the intentional worth of the build and the artistic value of the build as well. Basically, like I said before, and this is why I don't want to make this relatable amongst other builders, I treat certain builds as art rather than, just content. So, this has to do with Evergreen compared to something like a tutorial cabin that I made earlier. Those two builds have different artistic worths because I put different commitment and different dedication into one of them than the other. And to, give out that build, it'd be given out like art, basically, in my opinion. Especially with Evergreen. It's something that took me so long to make. And, I just don't feel comfortable giving out a build like that. Also, if I just keep giving out builds and keep distributing them out, then the value goes down, and it doesn't matter if I give it out to one person or like 10 people. The build's out there, and say 10 people could ask for that build, then 20 people have the build now. It's just not a practical thing to do. But say I do that to a tutorial house, it's okay because I really don't care about that build. So yeah, it's certain necessary to distribute a build more than others, but other than that, those are basically all the reasons why I would not give out a build. Well guys, that is all the talking that I have to do for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this week's episode of Build Talk. If you have any sort of ideas, anything you want me to cover in this world of building, then be sure to elaborate and share. Don't hesitate to share in the comments below. If you have any questions on this video or any other video basically, then be sure to comment. Now, you might also want to check the links in the description, anything in the description, all helpful stuff. I got a portfolio, Twitter you might want to check out, open you up to the world of building and creativity. Now, if you are a long-time viewer of mine, you might want to check out that button, that bell notification thing. Apparently, it's important now. But other than that, hope you guys, subscribe, like, do all that good stuff. And, I'll see you guys later.